What's a poppin' off, everybody? My name is Razorian, yeah! Today, I'm going to be reviewing this SQ8 Mini Spy Cam, Nanny Cam, whatever you want to call it. It's a little camera. I've had this for over a year now, so I think I'm qualified to give a decent review of it. And it definitely has some pros, it has some cons. Overall, I give it a rating of 5 out of 10. I'll tell you that right now in case you don't want to really stick around and check out all the footage that I filmed to show you guys what it looks like. I do have an Amazon affiliate link in the description of this video. If you want to pick one up, then if you use that link, it helps out my channel. I think I get like a small percentage or something like that. But it's only good for certain situations depending on the type of stuff you film and what you're going to use your footage for. The first thing that I have to say about this camera is, well, actually, let's get into the specs, hey? It films at 1080p 30 frames per second. It films at 720p 30 frames per second. It has a photo mode, it has night vision, and it can be used as a webcam. Now, the affiliate link that I put down in the description is for those specs. However, I did find a couple other pages on Amazon for the same camera, and they have different specs. So I don't know what's up with that. One was worse and one was better. So one said that it shot at 60 frames per second, 1080p, but only 30 frames per second on 720p. The other one said it filmed 30 frames per second, 720p, but only 15 frames per second on 1080p. So I just searched around and I found the link for this exact specs. The best thing about this camera is the fact that it's $15. So it's really hard to go wrong when you're only paying $15. Like, you could lose this, smash it, tie it to a balloon, let it go off into the air, never see it again, and you could be like, meh, it was only $15. The second pro I have for this camera is it's made of metal. It's very solid. I could drop this on the cement, it would probably still work. It takes a 32 gig micro SD card, up to 32 gigs. Now, there is a problem inserting the card sometimes. Like, I just put it in properly there, but every so often it'll slip and it'll get caught in there. Now, this only happened the first few times, and then I got used to it. It never damaged the camera or the card or anything like that. It just kind of just went in sideways. And I've seen other reviews where people have mentioned that as well. But yeah, it doesn't seem to damage the camera or anything like that. It's just something you have to get used to, and then you can put it in properly. Let's move on. I want to show you what it comes with. Comes with these instructions, which it has English, but it's translated from Chinese. So a lot of the instructions don't make sense. Let's see, like, I'll just pick apart here.
Boot blue light long on standby mode. Press the mode button. Red and blue lights long for 1080p video mode. Click the switch machine button once again. Blue lights out under the red light flashing on the long. 3. 5 minutes for 10. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
There's tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that. It's actually pretty easy to figure out. Then it comes with this cord, and it has a really mini input. Now, this is smaller than a GoPro input, and I understand why they need such a small input because it's a small camera, but I wish I had this input because I've got a lot of these cords lying around the house. If this cord was ever to break, then I don't have another one lying around the house. I'd have to go order one. However, it's never broken, so I've never had that problem. And then it goes USB into your computer. It saves the files as AVI, so you can transfer everything over really quick. It just shows up as a regular flash drive. And then this cord in particular has a video out, and this is good to plug into, say, a VCR or a television set, or let's say you own a store and you want to set up like a security camera, something like that, and then you want to have the television in the store so people know that they're on camera. So it's good for that, and I've tested it out. I don't know, it works. The audio sounds okay, but it doesn't sync up with the video. I've had this problem twice now. It's just not synced up. So if you're somebody that really needs the audio for your video, then you might be a little bit screwed unless you want to go into your video editing program and move the audio over. So that is a huge con right there. And I will tell you another con right now. Oh, I didn't even get through all the stuff it comes with. It comes with this clip, and it clips on very easy. You just go like that, boom, it's clipped in, and then this comes off, and you can clip it onto a jacket or your finger or wherever you want. But then it clips onto here, and then you get screw holes and stuff, so you can screw it into the wall. Or I have some footage I'm going to show you right now where I screwed it into the ceiling so I could get a top view of me filming a YouTube video where I was smashing stuff with a Lucille baseball bat. One of the pros is having a secondary camera, and say you can't afford it, say you got like $1,000 camera, but you want to have that second camera, then spend $15 and just have an extra camera around, like the situation where I'm smashing stuff with the baseball bat. It's not like I can take different takes of me smashing stuff. It's one shot, you know, there's no redos. So it was nice to have an extra camera lying around. If you look here, you can see that there are 4 sensors around the lens. That's for night vision, and I will show you that footage right now. I never used it up until the point where I wanted to make this review, and so I went down to the basement, and it was like pitch black, and I was actually really surprised with how good the night vision works. There was a little bit of light coming through the crack in the door, but I couldn't see anything. Then when I watched the footage back, you can't see stuff that's far away, but if you go up like 5 feet away from something or 2 feet away from something, you can see it quite clear. So I was actually pretty impressed with that. Anyways, back to that con that I was talking about. This camera heats up. Now, if you leave it for like an entire hour, it will get so hot that it will like burn you. Not like leave scars or anything. It gets hot enough that you'll put it in your hand and you'll drop it on the floor, and you probably swear. That's how hot it gets. Now, if you're just taking it outside, you film something for 5 minutes, no problem. But like I said earlier, you can use this as a webcam, but you're not going to use it as a webcam because you set it up somewhere, and it's going to get so hot if you're like doing a live stream or something for like an hour. It's going to be crazy hot by the time you're done the live stream. So I've never used it as a webcam. I tested it. It works, but I've never actually used it in a practical situation. But yeah, I've used this, say, like driving down the highway, stick it out the window, and stuff like that. There's absolutely no problem with the heat in that situation. I'll show you some footage right now where I went outside and I was playing with the dog. Again, like I filmed 5-10 minutes worth of footage, no problem. So like I said earlier, if you want to use this as like a security camera inside your store, I don't know if you would want to do that. Now, we know a lot of electronics these days heat up, so I don't think it would damage the equipment at all. However, it's just not good practice to have stuff that hot lying around your place. So that is one of the biggest cons that I have. Another con I have actually is that it took me 3 days to figure out how to take the date off the footage. So this camera works the same way that all these types of cameras do. You plug it in USB and it shows up like a flash drive, and there's a little file in there, a text file, and it'll show the date, so you can type in what date it is, and then there's either an N for no, I don't want to show the date, or a Y for yes, I do want to show the date. So it was on Y, yes, and I switched it to no, saved it, but it reverted it back to yes again. So I had this problem. I spent 3 days trying to figure it out. I went on the internet, tried to figure out what I was doing wrong. Couldn't figure it out. Eventually I figured it out on my own, and I had to take the text file, save it to my desktop, and then change the Y to an N, and then save it back to the camera, and it finally worked. Now, the cool thing is you turn the camera off, turn it back on, it doesn't reset anymore. So the date is permanently off on the footage now until I reset it again. So like I said, there are definitely flaws in this camera. But the reason why I give it a 5 out of 10 is because it's only $15. It's just so nice to have an extra camera lying around the house for different situations that you're in. You would do things with this camera that you wouldn't do with a $500 camera or a $1,000 camera, like hang it out of a car window while you're driving down a highway, stuff like that. So now I do have another con actually that really sucks. So this one time I wanted to film this bunny rabbit, and I was using this camera. I use a GoPro, but the bunny rabbit would always run away every time I went near it. So I thought I'd hook this thing up, and so I filmed for like an entire hour. I came back and there was no footage on the camera. I believe that if the power dies, I don't think it auto-saves the footage. Now, apparently there was a mode where it will save after every 5 minutes or something. I haven't figured out how to do that. The other thing I haven't tested yet is it also has motion detection, apparently. But I got no use to try that out, and I don't know how I could review motion detection. It either works or it doesn't. I'm assuming it works. Let me show you how it works. If you turn it on, you get a blue light, and that means it's going to film at 720p. If you push mode, you get red and blue. That's 1080p. You push it again, you get red, and that is to take a photo. Now, if you start recording, so I'll set this back to 720p, and I push the power button once, and the light turns off. And then you push it again to stop recording, light comes back on. Now, this is good for certain situations, like let's say you're doing a drug bust and you got a spy camera in the corner. You don't want the drug dealers to come in and be like, yo, what's that blinking light up in the corner? You know, you're going to get caught really quick. So it's kind of cool that the light goes out when you're recording. However, you don't actually know whether you're recording or whether the battery died and the camera's just off. And if you are into filming stuff, you know how frustrating it is to record a bunch of footage, then come back, plug it into your computer, and realize you recorded nothing. However, like I said, I've had this for a year, and with enough practice, you can kind of figure out what you're doing. But that part is frustrating. And the other frustrating part, like you notice the lights off now, it's because after if you don't use it for a little bit, then it auto turns off, right? So that just makes everything more frustrating, because unless you're keeping track of everything you're doing in your head, then it's pretty hard to tell whether you're recording right now or if the camera's off. Extremely frustrating. Again, but it's $15. Anyways, I think I've said everything I need to say about this camera. Again, I have an Amazon affiliate link if you're interested in getting one. I give it a 5 out of 10 rating. And I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know if you have any questions. Put it in the comments and I will answer them. Hit the like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see you again on another video. Okay. Yeah. Be like, yeah.